what we have here. It's a new arc, because while we finished the one with the ice ships and Toma being used and abused while he was sleeping, and still receiving punishment for it. But with Academy City somewhat safe for another 30 minutes or so, we need to see what else is out there, what kind of dangers are lurking in the shadows, characters that may come back to haunt us. But the main question? Just how much extensive work did the frog-faced doctor need to carry out? We're starting off with Misaka. And of course we haven't forgotten about the punishment game, whether or not we're actually going to see that or not. She's planning it all out. How dare you think of anyone but your sweet, obsessed stalker. At least she's enjoying herself in her dreams. I guess Toma isn't in for such a harsh punishment. Okay, new song, not immediately catching me. Wait, is she coming back? I hadn't forgotten about the collection of forts or whatever she's constituted of. Wasn't exactly expecting her to make a return quite so soon. I hate to admit it, but there was a time when I used to run kind of like Toma. Low effort, hands in the pockets. Okay, this bit kind of brought it back. Oh yeah, having a bit more of the understanding of that sister and her many piercings. But what I've gathered from this so far is that we're going to get some time with previous characters and hopefully Accelerator being one of them. I mean, how can we not enjoy more Accelerator? Speak of the devil. She's far too energetic for just being healed. So, what, a safe haven for them? For now? I didn't think of Accelerator just going to school like a normal kind of student. Although, how many people can just return to a normal life after being shot in the head? It's been a while since we've seen that guy. Probably for the best that it's not really too prevalent, considering the beach. Huh. Is this the usual conversation that we high school boys have? Okay. Yeah, go straight to someone who actually knows what they're they're talking about there? I mean, you can ask in a normal indoor voice level. Yep, he's not spared. Everyone take your seats. Clear up the corpses on the floor. Just how many of them were being looked after under his care. Well, there is the last order, which is, you know, slightly shorter of stature, but the rest of them seem to be relatively... Huh. She's not quite as well fitted as the others. Has she not been receiving the same kind of meals? Is this something you should really be doing out in the middle of the hallway? It's almost like they are self-conscious. Holding a long-form conversation with all of these would probably take about 4 times as long. I'm not... So quick, let's find out exactly what was the key factor there. Just run. It's not safe here. Run. He doesn't even seem interested. After he was showing such fear of coming back. Just because you lost, you're trying to drop it. Was that just an odd frame, or was her hair... is her hair longer? Well, much like most things, he's going to... go in with full gusto. I mean, not everyone is saddened by that scene, are they? She's right about that judgment of... Oh. I agree with that guy. What kind of morons are Oh. That's her acquaintance. That's not very nice to talk about the teacher. I guess that's not entirely accurate in this situation, but if that is... I think you're overplaying this slightly. You know, stopping cellular aging would be quite good. At least if you chose a time frame that is a bit more fully formed. Is she completely forgiving of his past? Can he be rehabilitated? I doubt that's the case. She's probably on several already. People are going to hold grudges. Well, considering he's actually somewhat worried about getting them involved. Meeting Mini Misaka has really helped in that regard, hasn't it? But that was always what Accelerator was like, back when he was, being the strongest. None of it was just because he's a psychopath, even if he put on the act. Ah. Who? How long is she going to be waiting there for? You almost feel sorry for the girl. Well, she's still having fun. Well, so you're just going door to door, ringing bells to show off your new cuffs. Good for you. If she's a maid, can you call her in and to cook? That is a good apartment. Better than the bolt hole he had before. And even with her job and heavy drinking afterwards. That's a good coping measure, actually. I wish I had that. Everyone has their own demons they have to face. There's so many. 4. Are we actually going to finish this arc without him completing any of the punishment tasks? Not really. How downtrodden is she going to get, though? Yeah, her playing the violin at that event was actually quite a nice bit of character. Understanding we got. Usually, that would be kind of terrifying. Unfortunately, for us, it's a common occurrence. So you have to start taking this seriously. Quick, Toma, make something up. She was really eager. So apart from losing his memory, he can't pick up on situations. Here. Oh no. The little robots are going to come across quite soon, aren't they? Who's shooting off abilities in the middle of the road? This was going to be nice for him. He's digging his own grave. Huh? Okay, and is this her way of getting his number, kind of thing? Sneaky. Ah, that's the main thing you're after. Of course there'd be a little extra prize. How can you turn down that face? Her face betrays, but she's... yeah, she went the wrong way. I think you can go along with her selfishness right for now. Huh? What a flimsy presence. What? ID, we need to make sure you're a couple. What? Okay. Is it really that hard to just take a photo and pass it off us? Yeah. This is concrete proof. That's just how much she wants that frog. Yeah, you got to take this seriously here. Exactly the same. At least he's not looking away. The thing is, you've got to make sure that... okay. You got to make sure that... the teleporting stalk shadow doesn't get a whiff of this. And yet she's holding on tight. Ah, good photo. Would it be easier to get a couple photo with him if he's unconscious? Well, if that's the case, you can ask me to do it. Yeah, there we go. Looks like you got off, not lightly, but just crawl away. So is this how he spends his evenings now? It must... having now a disabled character in the way of Accelerator, where he is... been severely downgraded. Don't like it. So, we had a... did you knock first? At least we know Tom was not the only one that is subjected to this kind of... entering into occupied rooms. Because it's Accelerator. trying to take the... Yeah, of course she was going to get injured for that comment. Well, it's more personal if you face-to-face meetings, but it's much more cathartic than writing it down or sending it via the Wi-Fi. Hehehe. Well, where's the giggle? Are you letting her out unguarded? Maybe you need to... Well, you can't just put tracking beacons on everyone that you meet. Yep. Fully understand exactly who you're talking about. She's gotten very good experience in throwing a tantrum like a spoiled child. You might not be able to see it, but this is full annoyance. Don't oblige her. Not her goggles. This is why children are a pain. Track her down with a non-lethal method, please. Although this works. A revolution. That went from 0 to 100. Not quick enough. It really didn't take long for her to fight back, did it? Maybe some of the other Misakas are slightly easier to talk to. Take a bit longer to completely flip. But despite his protests, Accelerator is such a caring young lad. But it might also be because he realises, hang on a minute, there's not a high-pitched whining going on. Where's she got to? Are we going to continue the rest of the punishment in the next episode, or is that, much like Toma might want, it for the day? At least we found out that even if you're built entirely the same throughout all of your DNA, there is a little bit of personal accountability. A little exercise and clean eating goes a long way. Good thing I don't really have to stand up all too often. But if getting shot in the face, spending quite a while in hospital recuperating, trying to live, well, gain normal functions back again, is what it takes to get a nice apartment. And with Accelerator being the anti-hero that we kind of already knew, but want to see a lot more of, I'm glad he's getting some screen time. And getting the Misaka sisters back in the limelight, talking amongst themselves, sharing on the network. We're once again following that storyline and probably some more behind-the-scenes scientist shady shenanigans. And now we know that it's not just Kuroko, but Ueharu and Toma. Everyone's getting a bit close to main Misaka. But ultimately, I hope you enjoyed the episode. and if you want to walk in on me while I'm at my most vulnerable, well, go ahead. But then you definitely have to come back for the next episode. And to make sure you don't forget, consider subscribing to the channel. But for now, take a rest on the couch, and I'll see you in the next one. If you're ready to drag me along, just to find all of the extra frog keychains, then I'm sure we're in for a splendid ride. That is, of course, unless you actually expect me to go outside. If you would like for a much more productive day, consider joining onto my Patreon instead. And it's all thanks to the punishment game that I have Sal, Electric Ant, Arthea, Noku, Shiwan, Mecha, Jennifer Rojas, Stinsfire, Big Boy, Mats, Rasmus Paulson, Girly, Dark Shadow 7899, Raywin, and everyone else right here. Because of course, no one in their right mind would support me otherwise.